Quaquaval, a Pokemon that has Moxie as its hidden ability, boosting its attack one stage every time it knocks out a Pokemon, and has a signature move called Aqua Step, which boosts its speed every time you land it. How is this Pokemon not the cream of the crop? It's a Moxie Pokemon that you don't have to equip with Choice Scarf. Well, in every format it's been in, besides the first one, it has been outclassed by Paradox Pokemon, restricted Pokemon, legendary Pokemon of all kinds. But here we have Regulation H for the first time. None of those Pokemon are allowed. It is time for the normies to have their day in the sun or their day in the manual rain, as you can see here on my Murkrow. Yeah, Murkrow's a thing again. Let's hop into Regulation H with this spicy Quaquaval theme. Like, comment, subscribe if you're excited, and let's hop into some battles here, shall we? All right, we have a rain team on the other side, which means that I don't got to manually set that up. That's no problem. So my Archaludon likes that, and my Quaquaval likes that. Actually, Quaquaval has a way of hitting everything for at least neutral damage, if not super effective. I'm a little bit concerned with the Annihilate is really good in Regulation H, so let's be mindful of that. Though I do have shenanigans where I can like foul play the Annihilate after I've activated its own Defiant. I mean, I'm not going to lean on that, but it is a possibility that I don't hate. All right, let's lead things here with these two, as I often do. I think there's a pretty good shot that Rain is set up by the time my Archaludon hits the field, so let's do that too. I'd love for Quaquaval to get a close combat in on their Archaludon, but I don't know how possible that's going to be. And then I think I'll bring my own Incin, even though we're threatening the Defiant. Like I said, that's not necessarily a bad thing if I want to try to time it with a foul play. And it's just a really, like, Incineroar is a really nice way of resisting Golden Go, which is also very good again. I mean, my opponent brought both of the ghost types that dominated Series A. Is that what it was called? No. Series 1. That was before we were even calling it Regulations. It was like Series 1, Series 2, and then Regulation C, right? Isn't that how it went? Pokemons. Okay, so I do get a shot at the Archaludon if I want it. I kind of do. I have a hard time believing they're not going to just Tera here and hit me with a fat Electro Shot, right? Like, if they Tera Fairy here, they just get to do that. I think I still go for it. It's so early in the regulation that I'm not entirely sure what the commonly run Teras are going to be. They're just going to let me hit him. Okay. Yeah, okay. I got no problem with that. I'm still probably going to get hit in the face by an Electro Shot, but maybe they targeted Murkrow. They totally could have targeted Murkrow too. They did go for Quaquaval. So that's going to be Quaquaval gone before it really got its feet off the ground. Who's complaining, though? Am I right? Quaquaval's kind of best when it's on its feet. And now... I'm going to go here. I think I might be able to finish that Archaludon with foul play, if I'm honest. Archaludon's physical attack stat is not nothing. So I think foul play could do it. And the fact that they did not Tailwind means that I could be an absolute menace right here, right now. I'm really glad that I went for the close combat there. Again, my guess is that their Tera did not benefit them in that moment, so they didn't go for it. So close combat I mean, I do kind of feel like going into anything else would be better than getting hit by a close combat as a steel type. But I still think that Fairy Tera is still the best for Archaludon, just to avoid getting hit by those. Like, it's such a hard Pokemon to hit for a lot of damage. And fighting type is kind of one of the most reliable ways to do that, because a lot of Pokemon, like, fighting coverage is pretty well distributed among a lot of Pokemon. Okay. I don't have Taunt on my Murkrow, so I can't taunt this Amoonguss. That's okay. I can Foul Play you. And Flash Cannon you. It's going to do a lot of damage. I might get Spore, but I'm getting a real head start with all of these health bars getting super low. Look, we basically have a dead duck. We basically have a dead bridge in the back. As long as I'm faster than that bridge. Okay. Decent damage. We'll take out the Pelipper. They're going to Spore something. Likely my Archaludon. Here comes their Incin, actually. I would have thought they'd want to go on the offense for my one mandatory sleep turn, but it looks like they don't totally care about that. I can go into my own Incin here, if that's what they're going to do. Again, their own rain is stopping them from being able to do a ton to me with Flare Blitz, if they even have it. Incins run all types of things these days. I stuck with the old Incin set. That's basically just max HP, max special defense, almost Assault Vest, like Flare Blitz, Snarl, Fake Out, and then U-Turn if I'm running Assault Vest, or Parting Shot if I'm running Citrus Berry. But a lot of people shifted over to like Knockoff and Will-O-Wisp and Taunt. As if Incin needed to be even better. It also gets every move under the sun. They're just going to Spore my Incin too. That's okay, because again, these two Pokemon do not threaten my two Pokemon. So even though I'm double asleep right now, my mandatory sleep turn is going to burn right here. I'll Flare Blitz into this slot, because I'm either going to hit the Amoonguss or the, red HP Archaludon. Oh, but I'm not going to wake up with Incin. Which means I should probably just Flash Cannon this slot too. Here comes the Archaludon. They're going to knock off my Power Herb, but also boost my defense. I'm going to wake up and take them out anyway. Glad I went for that slot. Incin's mandatory sleep turn happens right there. The rain stops. And no more Tailwind for them either. Okay. Here comes Amoonguss. It's begging to get Flare Blitzed. Neither of us have Tera yet, so that's gotta be happening soon. Yeah. I'm going to Tera Fairy. I don't think it hurts me to do that. And I'll just Flash Cannon Amoonguss. Chances are I get hit again, and then Body Press is the best option into Incin. Becoming a Fairy type here, again, doesn't do anything bad for me. Best case scenario? Well, no, because Flare Blitz was just doing neutral damage to me anyway. Doesn't really change anything. That's a good amount of damage into Amoonguss. I'm going to stay sleeping. I'm probably going to get Spored here then. For another time. They do Flare Blitz into Archaludon. They got a crit, so my defense boost did not matter there. And there's the Spore. Okay. The crit is a lot. Because I would say that I had this game in the bag until that crit just happened there. And now I almost feel like I switch into Murkrow right here. Archaludon is just a sitting duck. Like, I want to get the Intimidate again, so that in a 1v1 situation, my Incin has the upper hand against their Incin. Because now that's kind of what it's looking like it's going to be. Look at that. After 2 defense boosts, see how much that crit mattered? And they Pollen Puff to get a little bit of that recoil. Okay. I have half a mind to try to body press instant on this turn. I think I'm going to do it. There's the protect from the Amoonguss. Sick. Glad I switched it up there. Let's wake up here, Archaludon. Having my instant be faster than their instant in a 1v1 situation is also not awful. We did wake up. Here we go. Oh, okay. Cool. Archaludon still ended up being my sweeper after a little bit of a scary turn of events with that crit. Of all the Pokemon, you know, the crazy threats that were annoying to deal with in the most recent rule set, Reg G. Unfortunately, Archaludon was not banned. Archaludon's still very good. In fact, if you can hang with the restricteds when the restricteds are taken away, you're even better. So Archaludon has only been buffed by the fact that it is now not dealing with legendary restricted HP stats when it makes its moves anymore. The one thing that I guess kind of nerfed Archaludon is that it doesn't have Kyogre next to it. But it's going to be just fine. Still a very, very good Pokemon. And I can't say I'm surprised at all to see Archaludon sort of steal the limelight here in at least one battle of the Quaquaval video. Good game to my opponent. Okay. I'm liking the Hisuian Typhlosion pick for Regulation H2. Again, it's a Pokemon that was introduced when there were a lot of other things in the way that outclassed it and stopped it from being able to perform to its height. But now a lot of those obstacles are out of the way. The way that you deal with this is definitely by dealing priority damage before it can get off like an eruption with Tailwind. That's going to be a bit difficult for me to do, because my only priority moves are Fake Out and Grassy Glide, which Typhlosion is immune to and resists. I had Aqua Jet on this thing for a second, but then I took it off. So now it's only got these 3 moves. I'm thinking we can still do a lot with Rain Dance. Rain Dance feels like it's going to be still pretty effective here. And then I can just Snarl. So that feels like a pretty good lead. And if we see the Armarouge and DD lead, because they are also going to want to Trick Room. Oh gosh, they're going to want to Trick Room too. Yeah, this is tough. Let's leave with these two so we have kind of both options. And then we'll bring you. This is not a good way to do this. If they lead hard Trick Room, which it looks like their team is hard Trick Room except the Typhlosion, and that's where they try to catch people off guard. It's a great ladder climbing team. If they want to try to catch somebody who's trying to stop the Trick Room from being, devastating, all they have to do is lead with the Whimsicott and the Typhlosion. They're actually going to lead with these two. That's very interesting. I can manual rain here pretty easily. Typhlosion doesn't get Trick Room, right? It's a ghost Pokemon, but I don't think it gets Trick Room. So I don't think I have to Imprison here. I think I can just Psychic to deal some damage. If the Typhlosion moves first, and I think that it will, because I don't think that that thing is bred for Trick Room, it's still going to deal some serious damage. Being Tera Fire, even through the rain, with the Helping Hand, I mean, this could seriously still knock out both of my Pokemon, I think. I have no idea what this damage calc would turn into. There's layers here. They do move first. They did not knock out either Pokemon, but did a lot of damage. I mean, jeez. Okay. I think I need to preserve Murkrow, if I'm honest. I'm a little bit nervous about the Torkoal switching out to reset the sun and then me not having a way to stop that. So we're just going to keep dealing damage here, but we're going to switch out into Instant. They're going to give me something else here. Indeedee, which will obviously take the Psychic better, but I'm also going to have a little bit more output thanks to the Psychic Terrain. Psychic Seed as well. Honestly, would not be mad if my Fergraph went down here. I don't think it will, but it could. It could get hit by like a Heat Wave and then still get rocked. I'd love to get something else in here to stop the Indeedee from setting Trick Room, because right now, just a double Eruption. That's crazy. Right now, my best way, like if Fergraph hadn't gone down there, then Imprison was the best way to stop Trick Room from going up. But they could have also on that same turn gone for Eruption and Trick Room and knocked out Farigiraf. I'm already thinking ahead to like the next turn. Now I get the opportunity to knock out the Indeedee before it can set Trick Room. So Quaquaval's back on the field. We're going to go for a nice fat Snarl. Yeah, we are. And I'm going to Tera Water Aqua Step into the Indeedee. Torkoal is going to leave now. Okay. Ursaluna's going to come out. Again, a lot of their team was special attackers, so Snarl's just good all around. And I'm not regretting this Water Tera in the rain against an Indeedee that appears at least to be more specially defensive than physically defensive because of the Psychic Seed. Maybe there's a shot, although I have no boosts so far. That's good damage. A Snarl, if it hits, can do this. Let's go. No Trick Room. And now an Ursaluna that cannot Tera. And two other Pokemon that could come in here that are also weak to Aqua Step. And we're still in the rain. I bet the Torkoal switches in hard, to be honest. But I think I just Snarl and Aqua Step the Typhlosion. By the time the Ursaluna gets to attack, if it does, it's not switching out, like I said. But if it was staying in, it would have been at -2. Water Tera kind of offsetting the fact that we're in the sun now. So we do take out the Typhlosion there. That's great. That was a crit. Okay. That'll help. We'll get the Moxie boost on that too. And I'm not going to say no to a little Snarl into this Torkoal. No longer at full health. -1 special attack. These are good things. Okay. I really loved the double Eruption lead for my opponent. I think that's really fun. But I'm also kind of happy about the fact that I led with my Trick Room Stopper and my Tailwind Setter, just to kind of offset both. And it's really nice that my Tailwind Setter also has a way to sort of counteract. They crit me back, dude. Sort of counteract the sun as well. It's definitely not a bad thing. Little HP lost. Little citrus berry recovery. Interesting that my Incin undersped the Ursaluna, though, right? Could I still lose this? That was a pretty heavy crit into Incin. I think that if I Tailwind Snarl, Incin will be faster than the Ursaluna. And the Torkoal will then be at -3. And that's probably best case scenario. Flamethrower into Murkrow. Murkrow's going to live that thanks to the... all those special attack drops. Okay, cool. I think I just keep snarling and now I just set Rain Dance. Or do I Flare Blitz plus... You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to Flare Blitz plus Foul Play now. I'm going to use the sun to my advantage while I have it. Because otherwise I'm setting Rain, and it could be a situation where it's Rain versus... Oh gosh, this Eruption's going to do negative damage. I got healed by that. I'm in a situation where it's raining, and then they could still crit me with a Flamethrower or something into my Incin while my Snarls do very little. I still think I probably pull it out in that situation, but I just don't think that I needed the Rain in the end there. I think that the little chip from Foul Play is not awful. My opponent's going to, my opponent probably senses that they're on YouTube and they want to sort of get a little bit more 5 minutes of fame here. So we're going to let them do that. It's good to see Torkoal be good again, though. I always like that little guy, even if he is oftentimes incredibly annoying to deal with. I really liked using Hisuian Typhlosion, too, back when I tried it, and that wasn't even in a regulation where it was good. That was like in the first regulation it was introduced, which was like, what was that, the Teal Mask? So I got to get my hands on that thing again, too. Good game to my opponent. All right, this is another Trick Room team. This one's a little bit more hard Trick Room than that other team was. Yeah, not every member is a Trick Room sweeper, per se, but definitely some stuff. They also don't have a Torkoal. So Rain Dance is less imperative, though it obviously still just benefits me. I do think that the play, though, is my Rocky Helmet for Rigorath is not going to be bad here. It's really nice that both the Incin and the Rillaboom want to hit for Rigorath for physical damage, and the fact that I have that Rocky Helmet and a physical defense build stops them from being able to do that and lets me just have the Imprison. So we're going to do that. For my other trick, it could be nice just to have Incin come out, and I don't know that I need Tailwind or Murkrow at all in this game, so I might just leave it at home. I'm going to bring Quaquaval to the Quaquaval team video. And then I could bring my own Rillaboom to deal with their Rillaboom. I could bring my own... Yeah, let's... Am I not going to bring Rillaboom a single time to my first Regulation H video? Sounds like a berm video. Let's do that. You guys have seen Rillaboom, right? You know what it does. You don't need me to bring it to a single match. It's the monkey with the drums. Hits things. Grass a tree. End of movie. Okay. So they're actually going to leave with these two, which I was not expecting, but we're kind of cool with that. We're cool with that. I'm going to Psychic and fake out this guy. I could also just Snarl. I might just Snarl. Let's do that instead. Because if they just switch into their Farigiraf here, which their Instant might not want to do anything right here. Okay, just to protect. They might knock off my Farigiraf. There we go. Decent damage. Not even going to half health me, though. And I'm not going to say no to a little chip on Ensign as well. Alright. Psychic there. Maybe just a parting shot, honestly, into here. I don't hate that. If they want to switch it out so that they can have it at full health when they do activate Trick Room, then that's up to them. There's also a world, as we learned in the most recent battle, where their Ursaluna outspeeds mine. Like, they could, or my Instant, like, they could just be like a middling speed Ursaluna so that they work under Tailwind or Trick Room. That's what the Hisuian Typhlosion team was. This one could be similar because they don't have full Trick Room capabilities. They're staying in, though. Farigiraf goes next. Insane goes after that. So they are min speed Ursaluna, I would guess. And now I get to preserve my fake out, my intimidate, all that good stuff. Archaludon would take a lot from an earth power here. That would suck. But Quaquaval's a piece of paper. I'm going to go Quaquaval, because both of these Pokemon just are dying to get hit by Aqua Step, and if the Rillaboom's in the back, Quaquaval has a way worse time against their Rillaboom. They just Earth Power into that slot. Quaquaval will be able to take that at least. Okay. Let's go into Ensign here. I'm going to Tera Water here and Aqua Step, I think, into their Ursaluna so that I'm guaranteed to get the kill. This Intimidate will stop them from hopefully being able to knock out Quaquaval with like a knockoff if they want to try to go for that. They're going to swap that out, so I'm taking something else here. Maybe just the Rillaboom. Yep. We could maybe, as long as Quaquaval survives this turn, which, you know, fingers crossed. They could also Will-O-Wisp into that slot too, I guess, depending on the kind of Ensign they are, like I was saying in Game 1. There's a world where I could switch in Farigiraf here for the Ensign and go for a triple Axel into the Rillaboom. That's kind of the way you deal with Rillabooms on this team, with Quaquaval itself. They parting shot, but I have clear Amulet. They cannot get out. Okay, that's awesome. Great turn there. Okay, let's try this. I'm down. I don't know if I'll get the kill because I did not ever get a Moxie boost here with Quaquaval. But let's give it a go. Why not? It's sitting right in front of us. Like, I either have to switch out Quaquaval here. I guess I could have Flare Blitz there. Well, I would have had to switch out to go... I could have Detected for one, turning on for the Flare Blitz. Maybe that was the better play turn one here. I got a little bit overexcited right now. They're going to give me their Farigiraf. I'm going to give them my Farigiraf. There's one triple Axel. Two triple Axels. And we get the kill on the third. That third is always surprising. And it was a crit. Okay. Maybe we wouldn't have got it regularly with the third. I'm getting a lot of karma back from that crit in the first game. I don't know that I deserve all of it, but we'll take it. Hey, Quaquaval. If it benefits the Pokemon on the thumbnail, I'll take it. Okay, that's a battle I can include in the YouTube video. I'm loving my position now in this game. There's their Ursaluna. I can imprison the Trick Room here and close combat into the Ursaluna in case they want a normal Tera to not be weak to water. Come on, duck. They just protect for one turn. If they just attack Quaquaval here, that's a really great play. My guess, though, is that the protect Trick Room me. So I'm glad that I haven't even shown the imprison yet. Don't even think about it, dude. Excellent, excellent. It's all going according to plan. By the way, I don't know who set up this grassy terrain, but we are absolutely loving it over here. They saw me go for the close combat now. I think I can Aqua Step. I'm at +1. Now we know that both of my Pokemon will be moving first here. If they normal Tera here, they're Fairy Tera. Okay, really glad I didn't go for close combat then. Every now and then, it's really nice just to switch it up. If you know that your opponent just saw what you went to do, switch it up. Especially if you were like 50-50 on the options in the first place. Am I going to Aqua Step or close combat? They went for Protect and saw that I went for close combat. Well, you know, I flipped a coin in the first place. Might as well go the other way this time, especially because on that play, Hyper Beam, look at that. That giraffe just beamed me. Especially because I was 50-50 in the first place, like, and I had the other damage output from the Ferrograph there just in case the Psychic, or just in case the Aqua Step didn't kill. That's good stuff. Okay. Archaludon can come out now. Yes. And they're in a scenario where they cannot fake me out. I just go into my instant here, and they also need to take a turn with their Ferrograph. So let's just Electro Shot their Ferrograph. They can't click fake out here because I had my Ferrograph on the field. Let's get that little special attack boost. Power Herb it. Get some damage on that giraffe before it can now go for a Trick Room because my Ferrograph is no longer on the field. They're going to hit me with a Flare Blitz. That's going to boost my defense for when I want to body press that thing later. Okay. Parting Shot off of you. Flash Cannon into you. Battle was canceled. Writing was on the wall. Quaquaval, 3 up, 3 down. Can't be mad about that. Especially in that last game because Quaquaval got to do some stuff, especially against its biggest rival in this regulation. It's going to be Rillaboom. You know, Quaquaval wasn't good before, you know, since it's probably its best regulation was that Series 1 regulation, and it wasn't great. Since then, a lot of the threats have gone away, But Rillaboom was introduced, which is obviously a big problem for Pokemon that like to get one shot by Grassy Glide. But for Rigorath being next to it is really important and really helpful. And so I think that like the combo of the Farigiraf, the Incin, and the Quaquaval makes it so that Quaquaval is capable of dealing with Rillaboom, even if we did get lucky on that crit from the triple Axel. I think the best play was for one turn to protect with Quaquaval and Flare Blitz with Incin. Hey, that's just the way the coconuts fall sometime, you know what I mean? Good game to my opponent. And yeah, if you're interested in knowing anything more about this team, rental code PokePace Full Team Breakdown are in the description. You can join me on a Tuesday near you here on youtube.com at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's typically when I stream. And here in Regulation H, I will probably be battling against the chat as much as I can, just because it's super fun to battle against people and see what they're cooking in early meta situations. Thanks again for clicking on this video in the first place. Keep a lookout. I got some other Regulation H teams coming up. And if you want to see some of my other content, well, that's probably just floating around my head as we speak.